Alright, hey guys, Paxer, welcome back to another Pokemon Pocket video. In this video, we'll be going over Mega Swampert EX, a fan favorite Pokemon among a lot of players. Definitely one of the coolest starters in my opinion. The last time I played Pokemon Emerald, I did choose Swampert as my starter. And in this game, this guy is something. It's a curse when it comes to water type EXs currently. It really is unfortunate, but yeah, this is Mega Swampert EX, Stage 2. 230 HP, has 1 attack. Strong Arm Destroyer, does 150 damage, requires 3 Water-type energy. After attacking, discard 2 random energy from among the energy attached to all Pokemon, both yours and your opponent's. So this is essentially the Mega version of Gyarados EX, because Gyarados EX, after attacking, has a very similar ability. However, this attack ability has more potential to disrupt your opponent far greater than Gyarados EX. Inversely, this attack ability could also disrupt you immensely. I kind of already have my mind set on like how this will perform, but we shall see in the video. Yeah, so again, please stay tuned. But looking at the deck, this is the deck right here. As you can see, you want to kind of lead with Mantyke or Manaphy, and then eventually sub into either the non-EX Swampert or Mega Swampert EX. If you're new to my channel, really do consider if you like and subscribe. Really does help me out, especially as a small-time content creator. And without further ado, let's get right in to the deck showcase. Alright, here we are in our first battle. We are going second up against the Mega Blastoise EX solo deck. And again, if you guys are new to my deck showcases, first battle isn't really meant to be too hard, more so just to get the feel for our deck. So this is not how you want to lead. Ideally, you want to lead with either Mantyke or Manaphy, but we can definitely work with this since we are going second. So you got Mantyke, nice. Definitely not the worst. Gotta play this rather cautiously. Against Mega Blastoise specifically, you want to kind of outspeed your opponent, because once Mega Blastoise is built, that guy can just sweep your whole backline, especially if they're rather frail. But for now, to sub into Mantyke and Splashy Toss. Opponent evolves into Vaporeon, feeds Manaphy, and then feeds Vaporeon. Okay, Professor's Research. Hopefully we can get a Swampert. Perfect, okay, nice. So next turn, Swampert will be out, which is pretty nice. Let's do this. And this is where it gets rather scary, because again, keep in mind, after Swampert does attack, I could lose 2 energy. Swampert could discard 2 energy from itself, and that will set us back a lot. So yes, next turn, next Swampert is fully built. Opponent has a ton of energy on their board, but we shall see what Swampert wants to do. Please help me out. Okay, interesting. So I did Copycat. We could probably get a second copy of Swampert out eventually, hopefully. This guy's pretty good as an Oricorio counter, but also does some pretty decent damage as well. So here we go. Let's do this. And Strong Arm Destroyer. This guy's gonna absolutely decimate the seafaring Pokemon Manaphy. Here we go. 150, and please, I swear, dude, don't discard it for myself. Okay, nice! Onto Squirtle. That's actually huge value. So if my opponent does get Mega Blastoise out, they maybe not actually sub in Vaporeon for some reason, but most likely not. I was gonna say they could attack, but okay. Here we go, second attack. At this point, might as well feed Mega Swampert, because if I do discard 2 energy for myself, then next turn I should be still able to attack. So here we go. 150, absolutely one-shotting Vaporeon. And okay, not too bad. I only lost 1. Vaporeon lost 1. Look at that. Blastoise is out, not able to attack this turn. And I'm gonna do it again. Here we go. Gonna feed. Of course, you always want to feed. There's kind of like a little insurance just in case this guy decides to mess up himself. 150. You got a ton of damage. And yeah, just like that. I don't want to jinx it, but depending on how fast-paced the battle is, that might hinder you. Like discarding 2 energy from yourself, leaving you down to 1 energy, that could definitely mess you up. But yeah, just having that little insurance does help, because now, as you can see, I can attack. Might as well Lucky Ice Pop just to kind of BM, since I already won. It's always nice to do this, man. If your opponent doesn't concede when you're about to win, just Lucky Ice Pop your way through. Just be like, yeah, this card is just so much fun when it works. But healed up 40, that's still a lot. Inflatable Boat, and 150. And again, this battle isn't really meant to be too hard, but I feel like this is a good comparison. Comparing the previous Mega Water EX to the current one. Again, I'll leave my thoughts, most of my thoughts, for the outro, but they really need to figure out what to do with Water type. But yeah, with that being said, we'll see how this deck performs in PvP. Alright, here we are in PvP battle. Keep in mind the last battle for this deck showcase will be in ranked. So going first against Psychic, perfect. Always want to lead with Mantyke, especially if you do go first. Hand is looking very promising. We got Marshtomp and Mega Swampert EX, so in a couple turns, this guy could start attacking. For now, very straightforward. Splashy Toss. feeding Mudkip, very scary, but it should work. My opponent can very much just like Sabrina in this scenario. Kind of messed me up a little bit, but for now, this should be fine. Espeon Ex. Okay, interesting. So this deck has a ton of healing. So we shall see how Mega Swampert will fare. Perfect. Okay, nice. We did get rare candy. I'm liking the looks of this. Very straightforward. Just doing this. But again, I feel like this deck is better if your opponent has more energy, you know, like around the board. But this should be fine. So next turn, the only Pokemon that will have energy is this Espeon and my Swampert. So the chances of me discarding 2 energy for myself is going to be higher. All right, Mantike got knocked out. Espeon looking very scary, but Mega Swampert. Putting all my heart and soul into this one Pokemon. Here we go. This will be huge if we don't discard any energy. I think this will be insane. Indeedee is still kind of scary because, I mean, right now this guy is doing 120 to my Mega Swampert. We do have Lucky Ice Pop, so here we go. Please. This is so intense. Come on. Okay! That was actually huge. That was huge. I don't know the calculations for that, like the chances of that happening. Discarding from my opponent, but because of this, next turn we get 4, and if we do lose 2 again, as you saw from the solo battle, I should be good. At this point, freaking give up on this Espeon. I would feed okay, this Espeon. Okay, interesting. Interesting choice. I would have fed Indeedee, but at the same time, I mean, this guy is a tank. 230 HP, no damage done yet. My opponent really can't do anything. Okay, concedes. Yeah, that whole battle could have ended up drastically differently. If my Mega Swampert did discard from itself, then I would be screwed because I need 2 more turns to feed and attack. So a lot of RNG, I'd say. Our next battle going first yet again against Electric. So this could be scary, especially if my opponent does have an Oricorio. Very similar to last battle. Nice. So we just do this, do that. In 2 turns, we can get Swampert out as long as my opponent doesn't red card or Mars. So Splashy Toss. Pretty scary. Opponent does sub into Jolteon. Guzma's as well. Not that bad. I mean, Heavy Elemental, you do negate 20 damage. So, yeah. Definitely could be worse, in my opinion. So, this is actually very nice. We did get rare candy, and that might have actually saved us, especially if my opponent does have a Cyrus. So, we do this. And because of this, because of a Jolteon EX's ability, we are taking 20 damage every time we feed. But we do have Irida, which is pretty nice. So at this point, Splashy Toss for fun. Not going to do anything again, because this ability only works against basic Pokemon. I was just taking a sip of my coffee, being like, this is nice. And Oricorio the Nightmare Bird is out. Opponent does Cyrus. So it is kind of scary. I could have Irida to prevent that, but I do want to maximize Irida. So yeah, taking a lot of damage, but here we go. So Irida. It comes down to this. High risk and high reward. I feel like that's what I would describe this attack. Because if I discard 2 energy from this Jolteon, it'll be huge. But then again, my opponent has Oricorio out, which is... And with that being said, we need to get the non-EX Swampert out as fast as possible. So, Strong Arm Destroyer. Nice. Okay. Yeah. But we did one-shot Jolteon, of course. That's not the worst. Again, the worst case scenario is to discard 2 energy for myself. Only discarding 1, not too bad. But we can't do anything here. If anything, we can just delay. If you can discard 1 energy from Oricorio, that'll be huge. Alright, so we did pull an inflatable boat. Might as well do this. We will have to eventually retreat from Mega Swampert. But please, man. Not doing any damage, but discard that 1 energy. Please. Okay. Nice. Just delaying the inevitable. We're either gonna tie or... lose. Either tie, lose, or eventually, once we do get, please, non-EX Swampert, that'll be nice. High chance that we do get that right now. We got Manaphy. Damn, we can just do this. The main issue is that it is kind of awkward to build non-EX Swampert because, again, Mega Swampert EX's ability, each time I attack, I discard energy from both my side and my opponent's. So I could be feeding non-EX Swampert, almost about to attack next turn. Then I attack with this guy and I lose all the energy. But we can definitely work around that, especially with Manaphy. But it depends. Please keep discarding. Not for me. Okay, this is not looking good. This is... Yeah, that's the main issue with this deck. I feel like this is definitely one of the... yeah, this is one of the worst matchups to go up against. Next turn, I'm basically screwed. I need to pull... Oh my gosh, I can't pull my second copy of freaking Mudkip, man. Where is that Mudkip at? I have 4 more cards. Swampert, Marshtomp, Mega Swampert, but I don't have the one that really matters. Okay. At this point, I could do this. This kind of delay. Yeah, because of, again, the boat. I can just retreat like this. Pretty scary, but there is still hope. It looks very grim, but there is still hope. Gonna do this, beating Manaphy. Next turn, hopefully I can get a Mudkip. I have a 25% chance. Or my opponent's Cyrus's. 2 copies of Cyrus. Okay. This deck is, as you can see, not as consistent as Suicune Greninja. I feel like it should have definitely made it so that it discards your opponent's energy. That would be pretty broken. If anything, they to kind of like balance it, they could add 1 more energy. So like instead of requiring only 3 energy, 4 energy, and you can only discard from your opponent's side of the field, not yours. Because yeah, it's just a lot of RNG, not that consistent, and could definitely lose you a lot of battles, just like right now, as you can see. All right, next battle going first. This will be the last PvP battle. The next one after this will be in rank to finish the video off. So leading with Mudkip, interesting, Mega Bulbasaur EX versus Mudkip EX. Place your bets on who will win. We can disrupt this guy easily, but it really is up to RNG. Placing down the Mudkip's Splashy Toss. Interesting, my opponent's building the Bulbasaur in the bench. Okay, that's gonna be very awkward, because I mean, freaking Swampert can just one-shot, but here we go. So, feeding, evolving into Marshtomp, feed, of course, so next turn, we can get, hopefully, we shall see with this copycat, if you can get Mega Swampert EX out. Please. Cyrus, Heavy Helmet. Did my hand change at all? I had Lucky Ice Pop and Cyrus. I don't think I had Heavy Helmet, but okay. Nice. What are the odds of that? So let's do this. And this is a battle of RNG. Who can get freaking the Pokemon they need out first? Because if I don't get Swampert out next turn, then I might be screwed. Especially if my opponent does evolve. Yeah, evolving into Ivysaur, most likely subbing the guy in. No? Okay, building him manually. Okay. Alright, here we go. Swampert, nice. Okay, perfect. So we can just do this, getting right out, and it's being super aggressive. So as long as the Swampert EX doesn't lose energy, this will be huge. So strong arm destroyer, come on. Please don't discard from yourself. We are screwed. There's really nothing we can do here. I mean, we could still win, but just like this, Venusaur is out. Didn't have to use Quick or Extract. Could have used Synthesis so that they could... I don't think it matters that much, but still, I couldn't really attack. Alright, here we go. Professor, what can you do for me? Okay, we got Lifeboat. Nice, okay. Just do that. And our turn. And then next turn, we have a chance if we don't fail the coin flip. Because after Mega Venusaur does attack, this Pokemon does get poisoned and gets the sleep condition. So here we go, poisoned. And sleep. Okay. Okay, we have a chance. We have a chance, but it's looking very grim. And we got a lot of healing. This deck is nice with a bit of, because it has a lot of healing. So in this turn, we can get a minimum of 60 HP of healing. Now it's going to be 80. Here we go. Just keep on doing this, man. Keep on flipping. This is, guys, our last hope. This is very painful to see. My opponent can still very much win, but yeah, this is something. Please don't concede, because yeah, they could still win. Okay, might as well save Arita for next turn, but here we go. Please discard it from them. This will be huge. If I can discard 2 energy from Mega Venusaur. Okay. Not the worst. I could still win. Yeah. There's a chance. Actually, I don't know. There is a chance. Yeah. Here we go. So if he failed this coin flip, then we are screwed. But if he don't, okay. Yeah, it's GG. Yeah, this deck is a lot of fun. As you can see, if I discarded energy from Mega Venusaur, if I discarded 2, that would have been huge because they wouldn't be able to attack this turn. And with that being said, I could not one-shot, but it would still be pretty huge value. Damn. There is still hope. I could do this. Yeah, I lost. It's GG. Even if I Arita, it's going to put me to 120. And my opponent's only doing 100 damage with the attack, but with poison doing 20. My turn and their turn, so yes, that's rough, man. And this is why the deck is oddly infuriating. You could really love this deck with a passion, but at the same time, it could really just mess you up, which is why part of me does still prefer Gyarados EX, because that Pokemon only discards 1 energy. And if you discard 1 energy from yourself, it's not too bad. I mean, your opponent, if they do like Team Rocket's Grunt or Disrupt you, discarding more energy from your Gyarados EX, sure. But nevertheless, yeah, I feel like this is more disruptive on your part. It's like high risk and high reward. Failed in the coin flip, it doesn't matter. This guy's going to sleep for permanently. But yeah. With that being said, I'm gonna do one more battle in ranked. Very scared, but I believe, man. You gotta believe in this Gen 3 starter Pokemon. Personally, my favorite. It really does change from day to day, but currently, this is my favorite Gen 3 starter. Alright, here we are in ranked battle. Oh boy. Opponent's using a water deck, and we are leading with Mudkip, which is not good. On the bright side, we can get the non-EX Swampert out next turn. Oh boy. And we might be going up against a Suicune Greninja deck. So this is a good comparison. Comparing the very broken and still very meta-relevant Suicune Greninja combo versus the Mega Swamp Pokemon himself. So yeah, we can definitely get Swampert out. So yeah, at this point, tackle next turn, we might as well copycat. Okay. Damn. Perfect. You love to see this. And I swear, if that last card isn't a read it, I'll be insane. Because I can one-shot with this guy. Here we go. Sure, might as well. We are kind of forced to lead with this Swampert. The main issue is that we can't attack this turn. Yeah. So this is all we could really do. Just do that. And Lucky Ice Pop, might as well. Hopefully I can get heads. This will be huge if I can. This is rough. And we didn't even see Suicune. And my turn just like this. Next turn my opponent's doing 120 onto this Swampert. So yeah, this is the unfiltered ranked experience. They're gonna experience this, and yeah, it's not that fun. If I were you, if you wanted to invest in a very good water deck, invest in Suicune Greninja, because look at this. Granted my opponent did get pretty good luck, but still. At this point, might as well do like this. Inflatable Boat, Manaphy, Copycat. I need more basic Pokemon in my bench. But at the same time, Greninja is out in the field, so that's very intimidating. Even if I get nothing. Nice, okay. That's good. So Heavy Helmet, if I do that, doesn't do much. Large Whirlpool, sure. Discarding from Greninja Ex, nice. Disrupts on my opponent a little bit, but they can still attack. And Suicune, why not? Coming out, hello. Not really doing much, just here for a little cameo. Interesting, subbing in Suicune. Starting Plains might be a bit cocky, because this guy could have already won. Maybe he's giving me a chance. So I just do this, and got Mantike. Okay, might as well hold off on Mantike. Because of Greninja, this Greninja can knock out Mantike in 2 turns. Yeah, for now, might as well feed Manaphy. If I discard an energy from one of my opponent's Pokemon, that'll be good. But as you can see, discarding from Swampert, nice. But regardless, it doesn't matter, because I mean, this guy's doing damage to my Pokemon either way. Perfect, and DDX is here too, just to say hi. Like, what am I supposed to do in this scenario? There's really no competing. Now, granted, my opponent got a very good starting hand, but still, it kind of shows the consistency. I feel like this deck my opponent is using is far more reliable. Swampert is out. You have 9 cards, my opponent has 8 cards, okay. So, yeah, we could still win if I can get a Mudkip, but of course Mudkips are just super rare commodity. I really don't get why. So yes, at this point, might as well, I don't know. I could use Cyrus. That doesn't really do much, but Cyrus, sure. It's basically delaying the inevitable. There's really nothing I could do at this point. Perfect. Let's get this guy fully built. Mantike is getting fully built. Why not? Mudkip is finally out. Great job, man. Great job for finally getting out. Might as well just prep for next turn. If there was a next turn, if my opponent shows a little bit of pity towards my side, this is all we could do. Yes. And next turn we do need a rare candy to get Mega Swampert out. But at this point, there's no competing, man. That's rough. Yes. GG. Yeah, and we went, I think, second. So even with the energy lead, of course, we just couldn't compete because of bad RNG, and also getting Swampert out is pretty hard. And yeah, that was the Mega Swampert EX deck showcase. Overall, Water type definitely has an identity crisis. I feel like Dina's trying to build very kind of like bulky Pokemon that require a bit more energy, but in the grand scheme of things, especially in the meta, really can't compete against Suicune Greninja. If they continue this route, Suicune Greninja will still continue to be meta prominent, the best water deck investment. Yes, this deck is something. Could definitely help you out a lot, but in the grand scheme of things, is very inconsistent because as you can see from the deck showcase, the attack can definitely help you out tremendously, but also mess you up immensely, equally so. And it really does suck because again, Mega Swampert EX is my favorite Gen 3 starter currently. It's either this guy or Sceptile, and with that being said, they better not fumble with Mega Sceptile EX. You know it's coming. I know Dina does have a tendency to skip EX's 4-starter Pokemon, but please, they better not fumble. This is the deck yet again. Overall, I'd rate it B tier. I feel like B tier is appropriate. Again, high risk, high reward, but there's a better investment, so why bother? Like, unless you like Mega Swampert EX, which I do, but even then, especially in higher tier ranks, I'm scared to run this guy. I don't think he's going to be that good, not that reliable as, of course, other decks out there. I feel like this guy is the definition of mid. When it comes to Mega Blastoise EX, this guy, I feel like, is better, but more self-destructive than Mega Blastoise EX. This guy is, in my opinion, the best Mega Water EX. Because looking at the past two, of course, we have Mega Blastoise EX, yeah, and Mega Gyarados. Mega Gyarados requires 4 energy. I feel like you're more likely to get this guy out far faster because it only requires 3 energy, but still not that good, in my opinion. And yeah, it's a deck showcase. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. Again, make sure to like and subscribe because it really does help me out. I say this in all my videos, but it really does help me out tremendously, both mentally and again, yeah, physically. Yeah, it'll physically heal me, make me more buff, sure. And yeah, please stay tuned because I got more deck showcases as well as other Pokemon Pocket related videos planned for the future. And yeah, with that being said, I'll see you guys on my next video. Peace.